so in this second period of 3, we do have some skaters change out. Some will remain because you can only play 2 out of 3. Captain Awesome returning for this second period for the Ultimates, with the Jammer starters to begin with.
And we've got a couple of new ones from both teams already out there on the track. And a couple in the penalty box from the Incredibles.
I think she's serving for someone.
Power jam situation for the Ultimates. Captain Awesome being his Captain Awesome self.
They're quickly obtaining lead jammer status and quickly picking up 5 points again for the Ultimates. Starting this second verse, same as the first.
The pack is basically at standstill, and Awesome is just flying around that track. I do love a fast game of roller derby, and that is exactly what we're getting as we go into this second period. Oh no, but it looks like Captain Awesome is on his way to the penalty box for a back block.
Which means it's a power jam now for the Incredibles, and that privilege belongs to Block Widow. Block Widow picking up 5 points for the Incredibles. Of course, no lead jammer status. This jam will go the full 2 minutes.
Taking some big hits there, but it's not enough to stop her. Blocky looking very happy with that second pass. A wall of green there with Spank Girl and Banana Man doing their darndest, but it's not enough to stop Blocky.
Block Widow looking for another Grand Slam here. Captain Awesome back on the track, back in that pack, back picking up points.
He just goes so fast.
And for the first time tonight, we see Captain Boo Boo Bottom jamming up against...
I gotta say, I love that name. It's fantastic.
Well, with those shorts that Mr. Credible's wearing, perhaps he should have that name.
Well, yeah, actually, it does kind of suit those shorts, so I'm glad that they are making their debut on the track together. And Boom Boom Bottom is through. Lead jammer, I think that was the power of the beard.
Mr. Credible out now looking for points. I like, we talked about before, the two teammates going up against each other. We see two best friends here, bromance, going up against each other. Referees with Sydney Roller Derby League, players with Smash, players with Team Australia going up against each other, and Captain Boo Boo Bottom getting the best of it. One thing I don't like about these new names tonight, Biff, I can't say any of your mum jokes.
I think regardless, we should still make your mum jokes, and I'm still going to talk about his beard. There's some things that just never change.
Skating for the first time tonight, we have Paw for Thor for the Ultimates up against Spite for the incredible...
Por favor! That was a beautiful duke out and just straight up the outside. No opposition whatsoever. Beautiful jamming there. Spite having a hard time there with that duo of Spank Girl and Banana Man, working quite well together out there on the track. And in the penalty box as well. Perhaps they just wanted to stay together.
Another big jam for the Ultimates and Paw for Thor there.
And here we have Superfly up against Penelope Powderpuff. And I think we should all put our hands together for Penelope for pulling together this bout.
Absolutely. A lot of work done to make this all happen.
We'll give her a little special extra cheer as she makes her jamming debut this evening.
I don't think Superfly is going to want to do the same honour, though, to her. He's looking for lead jammer status. And finding a Superfly lead jammer for the Incredibles.
Big hit there from your mum. Another big clear out there by Captain Boo Boo Bottom or your mum.
Penelope Powderpuff showing why they call her the suicide seats. Sunny Beer Garden getting a good photo on that one. Big jam for the Incredibles and Superfly. Incredibles pack doing a good job of keeping Penelope Powderpuff at bay for as long as possible. They're going to need to do that a few more times over the course of this bout, but that's a good start for this second period.
And there we have Dark Horse coming up against Dr. Lestrange. Taking the outside track, getting a lead jammer. The Doctor having some difficulty facing that wall of green at the front of the pack.
Dark Horse picking up 5 more points and still going around the track, looking for the signal from the bench. Dr. Lestrange still not out of her initial pass.
Yeah, so only 4 points there for Dark Horse, so I'm guessing there was a no point pass by one of the skaters, as she definitely would have gotten that. And there we have it. She's got her Grand Slam for her second scoring pass. Captain Awesome taking on the Doctor at the back of the pack. That's quite a wall.
The Dark Horse racking up points in bunches here. Another strong jam for the Ultimates.
Big hit there on the Doctor.
Captain Boo Boo Bottom once again on the line for the Incredibles up against Colonel Punisher.
And the Colonel is through, lead jammer.
Captain Boo Boo Bottom go out and looking to catch up.
He was a bit of a wrecking ball in that pack though on his initial, but the Colonel is through and scores and calls it off.
Superfly up against Captain Awesome. A matchup we've seen.
Combination keeps happening. They keep coming up against each other.
Seen this matchup several times.
Purpose.
Of course, again, teammates on Sydney City Smash together. Know each other's moves. Maybe that's part of the reasoning for it.
I think Captain Awesome just jumped over someone to take out lead jammer status. That was impressive.
Superfly picking up a track cut there. and giving a power jam to Captain Awesome. Probably the least person you want to give a power jam to.
Most definitely, and especially when we've got the Ultimates breaking the 200 points. Captain Awesome taking some big hits from Dreadpool, but does not slow him down.
Captain Awesome calling that one off, and maybe a little bit of a reprieve for the Incredibles here, but Mr. Credible steps up to the line. He's looking to take advantage of the power jam and really put the screws to the Incredibles here.
And I think, again, it's another fantastic opportunity for him to show off that smashing outfit he has put together for this evening's bout. Really stretching that pack out. And it looks like Spite is pretty much taking on the entire team of the Ultimates by herself.
And in the meantime, Mr. Credible racking up another 5 points for the Ultimates.
Lovely little apex jump there by Mr. Credible, showing his credibility and blowing a kiss to She-Ra. That was quite lovely.
Blowing a kiss to the opposition bench. A bit of smack talk between the skaters here.
Superfly making a dramatic entrance back onto the track.
Block Widow jamming again for the Incredibles. Paul for Thor on the line for the Ultimates.
Paul for Thor taking out lead jammer status. She's quite fast.
Paul for Thor through for 5 points for the Ultimates. Block Widow now playing fifth blocker, dropping to the back of that pack and trying to force a way to the outside.
That one looked like it hurt.
A good job there from Banana Man.
Por favor, doing a great job there about calling off the jam.
Another strong jam there from the Ultimates, extending this lead even further. Captain Boo Boo Bottom once again jamming for the Incredibles up against Penelope Powerpuff.
Penelope Powerpuff just wanting to stay nice and close to your mum. Great work there by Captain Boo Boo Bottom, breaking out lead jammer, making it through the combined powers of Mr. Credible and Colonel Punisher.
Yeah, Penelope Powerpuff, they're going with him now, stride for stride.
And looks like Mr. Credible can't get away from one of his normal roles being referee and having to call those penalties with his body language as well.
Next jam starts off with Dark Horse jamming for the Ultimate. Superfly once again for the Incredibles.
Boo Boo Bottom on his way to the penalty box. Looks like a little bit of confusion going on. Might need to sort out what's happening, how many jammers that are actually in play right now.
Don't forget, folks, all proceeds from tonight's bout does go to Lifeline. Obviously doing some great work, especially this time of the year. And it's good to see all of roller derby getting together for a bit of fun, but also for a good cause.
Definitely, we all love a good cause. That's why you're all happily paid the door price to get in to see this fantastic crashing bout.
Hardcore Logos selling merchandise and shirts all evening, and Eat Our Truck out the front.
So we're almost at the halfway point of this second period, which means that we're almost like halfway through the game. So normally this would be the moment we'd have a half time, but we're not having that, we're just having breaks. I just wanted to point out that confusion.
It's going to be a really interesting mix because normally this part of a bout, coming into the last quarter, if you will, fatigue starts playing a factor, endurance starts playing a factor. So we've got players out there who've played a whole half going to their second, mixed in with some really fresh skaters as well.
Dark Horse just facing a big wall of red, doesn't stop her for long, and the pack is basically at standstill waiting for her to come around and get her Grand Slam points. Dark Horse doing a great job fighting against that wall of red. Full contingency out there on the pack for the Incredibles.
Of course, the fallout from that last jam, Captain Boo Boo Bottom in the box with the Jammer Star.
And that was for a low block that was executed just as the final whistles were being blown.
Dark Horse calling that one off. Well in control. The Ultimates once again extending their lead nearly to 200 here. Colonel Punisher jamming once again for the Ultimates up against Superfly for the Incredibles, getting his chance now after that time served by Captain Boo Boo Bottom.
Almost a 200-point lead by the Ultimates now. A little bit more than 13 minutes left in this second period. So still a fair amount of derby yet to come. Who knows what might happen. Some great booty blocking there at the front of the pack by Mr. Incredible. Followed up with a nice hit from his lovely wife.
The Colonel Punisher here looking for points now and picking them up. Big assist from Astro Boyd, finding his way through for 4 points.
Oh, I think this is going to be exciting. We've got Captain Boo Boo Bottom going up against Captain Awesome. I think we're jamming skills, just, you know, showing off for all of us, but also to each other.
Big man hug to start out there with, too.
And I kind of like this. It's your mum versus Captain Awesome.
Absolutely.
Captain Boo Boo Bottom has it. And that is a cut track on Captain Awesome. A beautiful situation for your mum to be in.
Captain Boo Boo Bottom with a power jam here. Looking for points now up against Banana Man and getting through. 5 in the sky. Captain Awesome, of course, in the box. Max Binky, I think, on her way to the box now for the Ultimates. Power Jam still with the Incredibles and Captain Boo Boo Bottom picking up another 5 points.
This is just fantastic for the Incredibles, exactly what they need. Such a strong jammer getting in there, racking up those points. Oh, that was almost so beautiful! The apex jump is a beautiful thing, particularly when it works, but when it doesn't, it can all come crashing down and your mum has to go to the penalty box. It looks like Captain Awesome is going to try and get back as many of those points as possible.
Spite throwing herself at Captain Awesome, absorbing it and keep on skating. Another 5-point grand slam for the Ultimates. One-sided. 3 periods of it. It's still pretty dirty. Mr. Credible once again jamming with the power jam for the Ultimates.
And I got to say, we got a pretty full penalty box at the moment going on with 1 jammer and 3 blockers in there.
Blade Stunner back on the track now.
That is the best defensive tactic I've ever seen. The jammer goes down and I will sit on him. Of course, that's not technically legal. I must say that was pretty impressive, though.
The technician not being very technical there. Should have been Captain Boo Boo Bottom. Probably would have fit
That
much
would've-
better.
Yeah, that would have been beautiful.
Both jammers on the track. Mr. Credible still having the best of it. 5 more points added to the tally. Captain Boo Boo Bottom forced a long way back by Banana Man.
Mr. Credible taking some big hits and forced to the back of the pack as well. Captain Boo Boo Bottom is through, but he is down. But he's up quick enough not to get another hit.
Captain Boo Boo Bottom going down by himself. One of those force blocks. Telekinesis, Holmes.
So here we have Astro Boyd coming up against Block Widow. And the wonderful Geronimo is not happy. She wants some more points on the board for the Incredibles.
Astro Boyd once again finding lead jammer status. And really strong jamming tonight from Astro Boyd.
Wrecking ball. Every time he puts that jammer cap on, just barreling his way through that pack.
Yeah, just muscling his way through. Block Widow now out of the pack and looking for points. Not lead jammer.
For the Incredibles up against Por Favor.
These two skaters, teammates only a few weeks ago. Ginger Snap recently transferring to City from Southside. And finding her way to the outside, she's lead jammer very, very quickly catching the Ultimates unawares.
Taking advantage of that slight hesitation by the pack once that whistle had been called and just skating through that outside gap.
4 points of Ginger Snap. Ball for Thor on a scoring pass. Ginger Snap, hands on hips, calling that one off. Strong jam there for the Incredibles. Penelope Powerpuff once again jamming for the Ultimates up against Superfly.
Superfly looks like he's got his groove on this jam. I think we're going to see some interesting skating. Yeah, 5 points at least.
Star pass.
Star pass done, executed, but the jammer penny went on backwards.
Lead jammer not with Colonel Punisher though, and Superfly calling it off.
And it looks like we've got Dark Horse for the Ultimates up against Block Widow for the Incredibles. And these gals have been playing on the same team for the Screaming Assault Sirens back home, well, right home here at Sydney.
Absolutely. Team against team once again. Normally Dark Horse be working to, usually getting an assist from Block Widow. Now she's jamming against her.
Dark Horse doing a great job fighting through that wall of defense from the Incredibles. Nice little apex jump there from Blocky.
Big hit from Banana Man there on Block Widow, bringing that jam to a close. That jam bringing up the 300-point barrier for the Ultimates here. And of course, with a 90-minute bout, we're going to see big scores here tonight. Captain Boo Boo Bottom jamming for the Incredibles. Going to do what he can to stop that. Paw for Thor for the Ultimates.
Ooh, and there is some pivot line action. That's always exciting.
Paw for Thor finding her way to lead jammer status. Captain Boo Boo Bottom giving chase. On a scoring pass now, looking for points. Paw for Thor picking up a couple and calling it off. Nickel and diming it. Keeping Captain Boo Boo Bottom from scoring.
And there we have it. The Ultimates have broken the 300 points. 305 to be exact.
Colonel Punisher on the line for the Ultimates. Superfly jamming for the Incredibles.
And again, he's grooving. He's shaking it. I like
Digging
to see
the
that in a
tunes
jammer.
from Wilma on the ones and twos.
Superfly has it, lead jammer, and he looks happy about that. It looks like 1 point for the Punisher. And that was obviously such an exciting jam for Superfly that he up and lost an important bit of equipment from his wrist guard. Block Widow up against Captain Awesome.
Captain Awesome once again finding his way to lead jammer status. Block Widow pushing her way through. She's out on the scoring pass now. I believe he can fly.
Beautiful jump. I wasn't sure if he was going to make that, but he did, and that was. And I like that he fell over just in front of us makes us feel like we're more involved.
Man can fly. That's levitation, folks.
Definitely.
Talk about superpowers. Flying is one of the ones that we're seeing tonight.
We don't need no stinking balls. We still jump. Here we have Ginger Snap for the Incredibles up against Mr. Credible. That's interesting. That was like a double jammer takeout by Blood Axe Binky. Very impressive.
Mr. Credible on his scoring pass. Lead jammer status is his. Ginger Snap, sorry, not having the same luck so far. Captain Boo Boo Bottom on his way to the block. Looks like for clockwise block. 4 more points for Mr. Credible. And Ginger Snap still pushing against that front wall of the Ultimates.
Colonel Punisher living up to his name this evening.
Another 5-point pass for Mr. Credible, calling it off, knowing that this period has come to a close. And as the scoreboard tells us, so second half time, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break for about 10 minutes. Make sure you hit up Hardcore Logo, hit up